everyone at the Edufuture Excellence Awards ceremony. Our presenting sponsor LIC, co-powered by Binomo and Intel, special partner Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham and survey partner EduStart. The deadly novel coronavirus outbreak affected one and sundry across the globe. The pandemic-induced lockdown introduced us to a new lease of life, digital dependency. Much like other sectors like movie industry, corporates, etc., education sector also was hugely affected. Online classes, digital courses, and many new ways of studies became the norm of the day, ensuring a brighter way forward for future educators. Online education has become a primary source for education. India ranks second in numbers of online learners as India has 10 million online learners. Indian teachers' effort to adapt to the online teachings and changing the future youth of India is remarkable as they are giving their all to it. The online mode of education comes with flexibility, so the teachers are trying that maximum students get the benefit out of this. Zee Media, being a responsible media house that keeps itself abreast, has ventured into this domain, and this initiative of recognizing and rewarding the contribution of the universities towards education through the Edufuture Excellence Awards. This digital campaign is an effort towards acknowledging and felicitating the contribution of educators in shaping the future of the nation in engineering, management, and media and design industry. The initiative culminates in the Edufuture Excellence Awards that will recognize, reward, and celebrate educators, an enthralling virtual event felicitating educators and engaging with key influencers basis panel discussions, keynote speeches, workshops. Today, I take the privilege of introducing our esteemed jury members. Kamini Prasad, CEO and Director, Mind Leaders Learning India Private Limited. Dr. Vishwapati Tripathi, retired IAS. Ms. Pooja Kapoor, Ambassador of India to the Kingdom of Denmark. Professor Debashish Chatterjee, Director, IIM Kozhikode. Dr. Harish Chaudhary, Professor, IIT Delhi. Partho Ghosh, Indian Film Director. A very warm welcome to the respected panel of jury members. In our endeavor to felicitate the educators, today, keynote will be addressed by respected Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal. He represents the Haridwar Parliamentary Constituency of Uttarakhand in the 17th Lok Sabha. The Union Education Minister has penned several novels, stories, and poems. He has authored as many as 44 books in Hindi, with a few translated to English and other Indian languages. Today, it's an honor for us to have his presence at the Edufuture Excellence Awards event. So please share your key pointers for a bright education sector in our country.
मैं जी मीडिया डिजिटल को एडुफ्यूचर एक्सीलेंस अवार्ड्स 2021 के लिए बधाई देना चाहता हूं। साथ ही कोरोना महामारी के बीच शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में शानदार काम करने वाले संस्थानों को पहचान दिलाने में उनके अथक प्रयासों की सराहना करता हूं। मैं इस बात से पूरी तरह आश्वस्त हूं कि इस समारोह के बाद छात्र अपनी शिक्षा को लेकर भ्रमित नहीं होंगे और आसानी से अपना करियर चुन सकेंगे। भारत सरकार ने प्रतियोगी परीक्षाएं कराने की दिशा में शानदार काम किया है ताकि किसी भी छात्र को अपना करियर चुनने में किसी तरह की कोई दिक्कत ना हो। NEET और JEE जैसे एग्जाम भी सिर्फ छात्रों के हितों को ध्यान में रखते हुए ही करवाए गए थे और स्टूडेंट्स ने इन परीक्षाओं में बेहतरीन प्रदर्शन भी किया। छात्रों ने मौजूदा चुनौतियों का सामना करते हुए अपना 100% दिया है। सरकार छात्रों के भविष्य और उनके उज्जवल करियर के लिए सजग है और इसलिए लगातार विभिन्न राज्य शिक्षा बोर्ड के साथ मिलकर हमारी भावी पीढ़ी के लिए ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन के एक मजबूत सिस्टम की नींव रखी जा रही है। और इस समारोह में आए सभी संस्थानों और उनके संचालकों, शिक्षकों से हम ये आशा करते हैं कि वो सरकार के इस प्रयास में सहयोगी रहेंगे। एडुफ्यूचर एक्सीलेंस अवार्ड्स शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में अतुलनीय योगदान देने वाले ऐसे संस्थानों को सम्मानित कर रहा है जिन्होंने स्टूडेंट्स के करियर को निखारने का काम किया है। एक स्वतंत्र और निष्पक्ष एजेंसी द्वारा 2000 से अधिक संस्थानों का मूल्यांकन किया गया है, जो एक अच्छा प्रयास है। युवा भारतीयों के सुनहरे भविष्य के लिए सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है कि वो सही स्ट्रीम और अच्छा संस्थान चुन सकें ताकि उनका करियर नई ऊंचाइयों को छू पाए, और इस काम में ऐसे अवार्ड काफी मददगार साबित होते हैं। मैं इस खास पहल के लिए जी मीडिया डिजिटल को बधाई देना चाहता हूं। ऐसे कदम निश्चित रूप से स्टूडेंट्स का भविष्य निखारने और देश को आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेंगे।
For the fireside chat, we have with us AICTE Chairman Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe. Professor Anil D. Sahasrabuddhe has held several important academic research and administrative positions at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, Tata Consulting Engineers, Northeastern Regional Institute of Science and Technology, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, and IIT Guwahati. He also served as Director, College of Engineering, Pune since 2006 on deputation from IIT Guwahati, prior to joining as AICTE Chairman as an academician and researcher in NERIST and IIT Guwahati, and as an administrator in the capacity of Director, College of Engineering, Pune. He has taken up several new initiatives for academic, co-curricular and curricular activities, entrepreneurship, research and good governance.
I congratulate Zee Media for taking up such an important thing at such a juncture when everyone is down with COVID. We faced the first wave, then the second wave, and we are just recovering. And to motivate, inspire faculty members, institutions to do even better, this program is going to really catapult in that direction. As far as the AICT is concerned, for about last 4 years, we have had several reforms which we undertook in order to excel and in order to create institutions of excellence in our India. But COVID times suddenly created some kind of a slur, and therefore we had to innovate ourselves. And I'm going to give few examples of how we started transforming. And in the meanwhile, we had the new national education policy also announced. And thereby, the combination of what we were already doing for about 3-4 years, the new education policy, and the pandemic, all of these put together, a new normal has emerged. Number one, education can also be delivered in an online mode was not believed by people, and this has become the order of the day. There are no physical classes happening today anywhere in the colleges or universities. So all the classes, right from forget college, universities, even at the school level, they are all happening in an online mode. But are they accompanied with challenges? Yes, there are huge challenges. Challenges of bandwidth, challenges of not availability of devices in certain parts. And therefore, we have to address those challenges in the post-COVID era. But nevertheless, we should not be happy about only online education. Education or university education is supposed to be in a physical space where people meet, they interact with each other, they will learn from each other. I think that phenomenon has to come back as soon as possible once the vaccination is over, once the government announces that the colleges can be opened. I think that is what is going to happen and should happen. But nevertheless, having learned the use of technology, we must use or leverage in terms of how we can make use of physical space education and the remote education or the online education. And that's what often we are talking about, what is known as flipped classroom, blended learning, or hybrid learning. I think that will become the order of the day. And some programs may go on fully in the online mode for those who cannot afford to go to the college or university because of financial resources being constrained, and they have to do the job. So naturally, we used to have the evening courses or weekend courses. Now they can do it very comfortably from their homes in the online mode. I think this is what has changed, in a big way. Now I'll come to a few important things, what industry looks at. We have a lot of industry experts who quite often say that our graduates are not employable. And the two distinct reasons which they talk about is, one is curriculum is outdated. What is required by the industry today is not being delivered, and therefore they are not useful to us, and we have to do a lot of training of such engineers or such graduates who come out. Second one, sometimes they know everything, but they're not able to communicate that, and they're not able to make use of it. So these two twin challenges we needed to address, and we started with what is known as annual curriculum revision. And we have given model curriculum to all the universities, and it is not mandatory that word by word they have to use it. They can tweak with it, they can make modifications, but the essence of that, in terms of what is required by the industry of the 21st century, has to be embedded in their respective university curriculum. They are all autonomous. They may use their own regional requirements into the curriculum. They may have their own vision. We want to create researchers, we want to create entrepreneurs, we want to create, people seeking jobs, we want to create leaders. It is their choice, and accordingly, some of the courses can be changed. The second one is huge number of emerging technologies which are becoming order of the day, whether it is in media, Zee is also using, or also any of the other newspapers are using, print media, or also the governance is using, the state governments, the central government, the government departments, the industry is using, and it is going to become more and more prominent are few of the emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, deep learning, robotics, 3D printing, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality, cloud computing, cyber security. I think these are going to become more and more important as days pass by. And that's why training of all of this to the students should start with the training of teachers themselves. And therefore we have under Atal Academy, AICT's Training and Learning Academy, ATAL, Atal Academy. And in the last 1 year, in 948 programs, we could train 165,000 teachers all across the country, and some of them from even abroad. And this has become a world record. We had another training for students, Python. Python is a language which is modern and which is used for a variety of purposes. And using that tool, using AI, developing face recognition software by 126,000 students in 24 hours. I think this is the power of technology. We have a mandatory faculty certification program of 8 modules, followed by industry internship by faculty for about 1 month, and then practicing it for 1 full semester before a person gets regularized. I think these are fundamental changes. The next one which industry talks about is soft skills, and therefore AICT is the first 3 weeks student induction program, which is not just for namesake, a lot of activities. 9 modules are there, right from yoga, exercise, games, to debate discussions, to visiting nearby historical places, geographically important places, to the industry, then expert lectures, even screening of some of the inspirational movies, to even going on a picnic by one faculty member with 20 students. So a rapport or a bondage being developed between teachers and students in the first 3 weeks itself. And making everyone aware, realize that each one is endowed with some strengths and also, of course, some weaknesses. But how our strengths can be used for helping others to learn that which he does not know or she does not know. And similarly, learn from others what they know, but I don't know. I think this mechanism of collaboration, cooperation, rather than competition, is also very important. Of course, in the life, competition is bound to be there. But along with competition, how we must do a win-win situation by collaboration. I think that is what is taught to the students. Healthcare, Ayurveda, yoga, as well as various traditional knowledge systems which India for thousands of years had been practicing, how we can bring it to life today, make it relevant, and also inspire students to do research in those domains in the future. So all of that is connected. Then internship to industry is mandatory. So we have a portal where industries can post their internship opportunities, and students of whoever are interested will apply, and this is a matchmaking portal. We also have mandatory examination reforms, where our examination papers, which were all based on rote learning, we want to move away from that into in terms of higher level of learning, whether it is understanding the concepts to critical thinking, analytical ability, creativity, innovation, all of that being embedded in our university question papers. Thereby, what we can achieve is whether student is able to apply the knowledge that he has gained in the classrooms is going to be tested in the real sense. And such students certainly would be useful for industry, for the society, for the government, for anyone for that matter. And that examination reforms is very, very crucial. And this should be also continuous evaluation. It cannot be said that there is an annual examination of 3 hours. The whole year he is studying. Why are you wanting him to memorize all of that and omit it in the last 3 hours of that particular semester or year? Instead, you have regular quizzes, regular assignments, regular vivas, and then prepare a student to start thinking. You know, that thinking ability is the most important thing. And make him to ask questions to the faculty members. Because if he has not understood a concept, he must be bold enough to ask that question. And question the rightness or wrongness of that also. And finally, having got satisfied, he must move ahead. I think all of that is part of the several reforms that AICT had undertaken in the last 4 years, and the new education policy came in, as well as I said, pandemic came in. So everything has become online. Our classes are going on online. Examinations are also being handled online. And as per new education policy, few important changes which are likely to come and how we have to adjust ourselves, I would like to briefly talk about. Number one, it talks about multidisciplinary universities. No university should be only specific domain-wise, like an engineering university, a law university, a medical university, is going to be bygone of the past. We want universities where all variety of knowledge is going to be learned, shared, understood, and further in terms of doing research. Because everything we see in the life, nothing is unidisciplinary. You cannot have a product which is purely mechanical engineering product. You will have in an automotive, probably new car, more electronics and more computer science than mechanical engineering. But the new policy has two other features: multiple exit and multiple entry. That means if a student comes into one domain of program, say engineering or say medicine or say commerce, and after 1 year he realizes that this is not interesting to him, or it is not his cup of tea to continue in this domain. So if a student leaves after halfway, he is today going with blank hands, nothing in the hand. But the new policy talks about how do we give certificate or a diploma if you have not completed the degree. So all of these possibilities are narrated in the new national education policy. Some of these ideas were already being implemented by AICT in the past for the last 4 years. And now is the time how we can further it, how we can streamline it, how we can expand it, how we can make our gross enrollment ratio increased from present 27% to 50%, how we make our exam reforms valid from school education to the university education and in the research. I think these challenges have to be met. Of course, as far as digital is concerned, we want to have a nation to be in digital divide mode, and therefore BharatNet project, which has already thought of having gigabit connectivity to nooks and corners of the country, should be expedited in the next 1 year. Go to any village anywhere in the country, right from Nagaland, Mizoram to maybe Jammu Kashmir to Tamil Nadu to Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand. We must have robust internet connectivity. Thereby, by being at home, by being in their village, they will get the best quality education. As far as devices are concerned, government is already giving so many scholarships. Therefore, there will be very easy access of devices also for students. If some small amount is reserved for giving laptops or computers or smartphones to children who cannot afford, and those who can afford should buy anyway. So I think, therefore, it is much easier to also expand the knowledge base, expand the gross enrollment ratio. It is also possible that anyone who is interested in learning should not be left high and dry. He will be able to get education. I think that's what the new policy talks about. जी टीवी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, क्योंकि इस अवार्ड के माध्यम से जो हर आदमी के अंदर में जो ऊर्जा है, हुनर है, उसको पहचानना, इसका संवर्धन करना, इसको बढ़ावा देना, इसमें नवाचार लाना, ये सब चीजें करने में जो जी का ये अवार्ड फंक्शन है इसको सहायता करने वाला है। और जिनको ये अवार्ड्स मिले हैं इन सब लोगों के लिए बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। आई थिंक आई हैव डन माय बिट ऑफ टॉकिंग फ्यू मिनट्स। If there are any questions on what I have spoken, you're all welcome. Namaskar.
For our conclave session 1, the topic of discussion is building platform for future engineers, and we have an expert panel comprising Supriya Dhanda, Vice President and Country Manager of Western Digital India, Rajesh Ghusenga, Officer on Special Duty in the Public Works Department of Government of Rajasthan, and finally we have Shailesh Vilankar, Senior Vice President, Field Operations at Schindler India Electronics Engineer, VJTI, Mumbai. The session is moderated by Tejas Shyam, an entrepreneur, educator and business coach. Welcome to our 3 panelists. Let's open the discussion on building platform for future engineers.
Welcome everyone to this wonderful panel discussion on building a platform for future engineers, and it is my privilege to be here today with a bunch of wonderful panelists. We have Supriya, Shailesh and Rajesh with us, and our introductions have been done. I think it's time to go ahead and straight away get into the discussion. My first question is, since we're talking about engineering, Shailesh ji, a lot of engineering today seems to be focused around buzzwords, right? We have buzzwords like big data, AI, artificial intelligence related fields as well, computer science, quantum computing. So there is a great deal of growth in technology. But do you think that technology growth today for engineers is related or is limited only to the fields around IT, or do you think there are other domains of engineering which also have a push that's happening?
If you look at last 15-20 years, the IT industry or the computer engineering is dominating the entire market. And they also come up with this kind of glory that these people typically work abroad, either in US or UK. They are the frequent flyers. Every alternate household you will find a member in the IT team. So no doubt, as an entire industry, they have driven the Indian economy as well. But I personally feel that doesn't mean that only the IT or the computer sector will dominate in future, because if you look at the kind of export policies we have, the kind of make in India push the government is actually giving all out in the market, I think the mechanical engineering, which is end of the day the path of all engineering, I personally feel. So the mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronics, and related others will also play an equal or maybe more dominating role in the near future.
I'm going to ask my second question to Supriya. Supriya, we know that today a lot of different opportunities exist, but what kind of multidisciplinary cross-domain skills do you think our engineering candidates should have to be able to access these kind of opportunities?
We are right now sitting at the cusp of Industrial Revolution 4.2, which is all about our physical, digital, biological worlds coming together. So to all the engineers out there, I think the question that needs to be asked right now is that, what is my passion? Before we proceed on skills, I think it's very important to say, what is it that I get excited about? Because it's like we talk in the world of fashion. You said there could be others who are tuning in who may not be engineers. I mean, if someone is an arts or science or a design student, it's not about what the trending hot trend in fashion is. It's about what's your personality and how do you get the best out. So I would first say focus on what your passion is. Once you realize your passion is the future technology and you want to ride that wave, there is plethora to choose from. At the end of the day, it's going to be a combination of foundational technologies, which are never going to go out of fashion. And of course, those are base, and emerging technologies that I think you can look at as a blend. We've got AI, ML, deep learning, robotic process automation. We've got blockchain. We've got many technologies. I would say first begin with passion. Look at the industry that you want to be a part of. Whether you have tech in your business or not, it's just going to be tech that's going to get infused with your business going forward. There is agri-tech, there is fintech, there is health tech. So I think staying on the right side of technology and looking at what explosion is happening, where is future growth, I think that's going to be the second point that you need to look at. What industry do you want to be a part of? What is the problem that you're looking at solving?
Here is my question, right? A lot of our young engineering graduates are very driven by passion, but some of them are also driven by the concept of job security, by the concept of, let's have a life that is provided for. And a lot of this is in some way related to, the government. A lot of our youngsters today also view government jobs as a great way of leveraging their skills along with contributing to the nation, as well as trying to get a secure job for themselves or build a better future for themselves and in turn the country. So we have Rajesh with us. Rajesh, you are attached to the PWD. I wanted to understand from you, we're talking about AI, we're talking about ML, we're talking about these buzzwords. What kind of opportunities are in store for our young engineers in the government sector? Can you give us some idea?
I think there are two aspects of these technologies. First is development and second is application. The development part is mostly done by the academic institutes and private players. And of course, government is facilitating them with the funds. And the second part is application. So in government department, you might have heard that income tax department has used tax evaders after this demonetization effect. So if you talk about our department, then you might have heard that this toll plaza is collecting this much toll amount. So we in our department हम डिसाइड करते हैं कि ये टोल प्लाजा है उस पे कितने व्हीकल्स आ रहे हैं उसमें हम एमएल और एआई का यूज में लेते हैं कि कितने व्हीकल्स आ रहे हैं और किस किस तरह के व्हीकल्स आ रहे हैं उन व्हीकल्स को सेग्रीगेट करके हम फाइंड आउट करते हैं कि ये टोल कलेक्शन होना चाहिए सो बेसिकली हम पूरे एक साल भर के लिए टेंडर करते हैं ना कि एक पर्टिकुलर डे के लिए.
But I'm sure a lot of you have this one question. I mean, there are opportunities out there. What kind of skills should I develop? Because as we know, our education system is evolving slowly but steadily. A lot of criticism has been directed at our education system saying we're not creating people for industry. We're not creating them ready for industry. While that may or may not be strictly true, I wanted Shailesh ji's views on this. Shailesh ji, my question to you is, what kind of skills are companies today in the private sector specifically looking at in future engineers?
We also recruit a huge amount of engineers from all the fields, not only related to IT, computers, but typically mechanical, electrical, even to the tune of chemical engineers. And when we look at the technical part, of course, that's very important. So I will basically distinguish this skill part into two. One is what hard skills we look at, and very important is what soft skills. So when I come to hard skills, I think first thing which comes to my mind is typically your analytical thinking, how strong you are into looking at any problem, and also how you can develop the solution to it. So that analytical thinking plays an important role. Also, do you also think out of the box? So the what kind of innovation capabilities you have in your mind? Because even if I look at my own industry, like the elevator, escalator, have evolved since last 100 years to a great extent. Now we have our own R&D center at Pune, which is also catering to global demand. So we are thinking of, can we develop a solar elevator, or can we develop some kind of travel pattern which can take the users to their destination in a fastest possible time? Can we move elevators horizontally rather than only moving them vertically? So a lot of new ideas are also coming from this young people. So innovation also plays an important role. And last but not the least, like what Supriya was also mentioning about this new technology, the data. I think you know the term that data is the new gold. So how engineers are able to, or the candidates or the students are able to work on this entire data management. So for me, the hard skill, typically analytical thinking, innovation, and how they manage the entire data is what we typically look at. But for me, honestly, Tejas, I look more on the soft skill part. And with the post-COVID situation, the first thing what comes to any organization is how agile you are. The agility part, in fact, that is becoming the most critical part of the soft skills today. That how the agility part. Second comes to my mind is your communication. because end of the day, as an engineer, also you would like to grow in the organization. In some years' time, you will be handling a team. How conveniently, how strongly you are able to the organizational goals to their mind, you are able to drive the entire team going towards that goal is very important. So second part, very important, is communication. But third part is what I believe the most personally and professionally. Every time you hear about this B2B, B2C segmentation of the industry, business to business, business to customers. But I'm a strong believer. I don't believe this B2B, B2C part. I believe any organization, any industry work on only one concept, and that is H to H. It's human to human, it's heart to heart. How strong emotional intelligence you have, or I would say how strong emotional engineering you carry in your mind, how strong you are able to read a person, whether it can be your customer, it can be your manager, it can be your team down the below. And if you are able to do that well, if you are able to establish that heart to heart connect well, I think 90% of the job is done there itself.
Wow, very interesting perspective. Human to human agility, very very interesting, very important concepts. But somewhere, viewers, I think all of you will agree. While these are things that the industry looks at or looks for from you, how much of it is it really getting taught to you in your colleges, in your schools, right? There is always that small little gap between what you need to demonstrate and what you probably know academically, and that's where I think a huge role is played by the concept of internships, right? And internships today are a very integral and important part of how an engineer grows. So, on that thought, my question to Supriya, we know that internships are very, very important to every engineer, and without an internship, obviously, the practical knowledge that an engineer needs is very incomplete. So, how can these internships be better suited for the students, or how can students leverage these internships better for their short and long term growths? I would love your perspectives on it.
It's a career paradox that we talk about. You need experience to get experience. So where is this experience going to come from when you're looking at early career jobs within the corporate out there? And I would say, it could be in two aspects. We could look at a related experience, we could look at unrelated. Unrelated is pretty much what we are talking about in your college. What are you looking at? What are the programs that you're part of? Your communities, your games, your other initiatives that you're looking at, which is your career fairs and other festivals that you are. What we are looking for is where is this experience that is taking you? What are the skills you're building? And Shelley said it's teamwork. It's of course agility. I will add two more, from my side, is that what you need to look forward to build in an unrelated experience before you enter the corporate is going to be, are you a self-starter? Is there an idea that you worked on? We spoke about government. There are excellent challenges that the government is putting online. egov.in is constantly looking at how is it that the problems of India can be solved by bringing together data. I know my company, we've looked at Data Innovation Bazaar as something that's a marketplace of ideas we've taken out. We've taken it to young entrepreneurs, but more importantly, we've opened that to young engineers out there who are in third or fourth year of engineering colleges, and it's open to non-engineering streams too. So look at those opportunities to come forward, build on ideation, because that's the skill that's going to help you in the long run. Can you ideate? Can you think? And therefore, can you be resilient in problem solving? These kind of opportunities will also help you. Coming to the topic of internships, which are more structured, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to 10 months, I think what you can look at is internships is what's going to give you an idea about two things. What is it that you are good at? What is it that genuinely fires the passion within you? What kind of technologies, industries, like I touched upon, you can work on? And therefore, I would say go beyond the curriculum of what institute is prescribing for you. It's great, but that can be a starting point and need not be a dominating point in itself. There is a part of curricula internship that's built in, and that's okay. But there is this world of digitalization that's connected everyone. So get in touch with your alumni, look at what the companies are posting out there, where are these challenges, look for coming on board with these internships.
Rajesh, could you go ahead and tell some of our viewers what are the possible openings or internship opportunities in the government? How is the government helping support talent development?
So actually in government, basically we don't have such internship openings in government sector, but recently we have started taking apprentices from engineering colleges, so from local engineering colleges. So we hire fresh engineering graduates to work for our department at entry level, and this assignment is for 1 year. तो वो 1 साल तक यहाँ पे एज ए इंजीनियर काम करेंगे, उसके बाद में वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर और गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में जॉब्स के लिए देख सकते हैं. सो बेसिकली अभी रिसेंटली लास्ट मंथ ही हमने इंटर्न्स के लिए आईआईटी बॉम्बे में लोगों से बात की कि हमको इंटर्न चाहिए, तो हमने प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट दिया और उस प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट को सोल्व करने के लिए हम लोगों को इंटर्न चाहिए. बट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में अभी काफी बात हो रही है कि गवर्नमेंट स्किल डेवलपमेंट पे ध्यान दे और इसके लिए इंटर्न्स रहना बहुत जरूरी है.
Supriya, you're someone who works a lot with talent transformation. You work a lot both with private and public sector. So I want you to help us to try and understand that, entrepreneurship and its, sister concern, intrapreneurship, are great enablers today, right? What kind of scope do we have in entrepreneurship in our core domains of engineering? Is there any real scope? And if yes, what kind of scope do we have?
I will start by confessing I'm a failed entrepreneur. 2019 I started and it didn't go well, but I know that when I look back and even on forum when I talk today, that was an experience that taught me the most. It taught me to rely on myself and my power and my passion and my ideation more than probably the other external environment. And that's, I think, what is also coming across as a theme, कि आपके अंदर क्या दम है, आपका क्या आइडिया है और आपको क्या वो ड्रीम है जो रात को जगाता है. And I think that is the power coupled with problem solving, which is what are the problems out there that are waiting to be solved. There is accessible education. Well, for me, that's an opportunity out there waiting for ideation innovation to happen. If you talk about manufacturing, Tejas, I try to look at with a positive lens. We turn out maximum engineers in the world. We are high on employability. Of course, everything can be improved. But the entire aspect of Industrial Revolution 4.0, which is about bringing technology to the manufacturing processes, largely a smart factory that operates without any human intervention. And we have one such factory and few more, which is lights out within my company. And across the industry, there are shining examples of that. So I think bringing in industrial IoT, again, we talk about using data as an insight. Today, you don't need to do factory, processes. You can ideate, you can simulate scenarios and look at that. You want shop floor to be redesigned. You can look at, cloning those in technology. So my sense is there is this huge innovation that is waiting to happen and also happening, as you and I discuss on this panel, in the world of manufacturing.
Wow, that was inspirational. Being an entrepreneur myself, I can totally relate. And what you said, कि, you have to work on a problem. It shouldn't let you sleep. जो चीज आपको सोने नहीं देती, वही आपके सपनों को पूरा करने का जरिया हो जाती है. So my question to you, Rajesh, is what do you think in the near future is some of the most exciting changes that are going to happen for the engineers of our future, and how do you think they should prepare for it?
Most of things performed by manual labor are being taken up by machines. The new technology will make engineers' life more easier, provided they learn and adapt in time. So basically, अभी हम बात करें तो we have a lot of engineers who are not having a skill set, but at this point of time we are having so many platforms through which he can learn those skills, like online platforms such as Coursera and grade up. So you can learn those skills which you are lacking of, and you can get ready for the job profile that you are aiming for.
The broad themes that we've discussed today, viewers, are the fact that there is a lot of opportunity out there for each one of you. Opportunities abound both in the government as well as private sector. Internship opportunities as well abound everywhere. What you've got to do is you've got to stay current, you've got to stay updated, keep learning, keep working towards your passion, your dreams. At the same time, join organizations that are ethical, that focus on sustainability, that allow you to leverage what you want to do. The future is a future of engineers. You are the future of our country, and there are a lot of opportunities out there which are waiting for you. Go grab them with both your hands. With this, I thank all our panelists. Thank you, Rajesh, Supriya, Shailesh ji, for being here. It was wonderful interacting with all of you viewers. I hope you've learned a lot from this session. I certainly have. This is me, Tejas Sham, signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you for such great insights. I'm sure this will be of great help to our future engineers. For our second session on The Art of Management Practical Knowledge is the New Approach, our esteemed panelists include Nandita Abraham, Chief Partnership Officer, GOS Global Services, Prateek Bhargav, CEO, Mindler, and Amit Gujral, Chief Marketing Officer, JK Tires. The session is moderated by Malti Rai, Vice President HR at Continuum.
To do or not to do an MBA? That is the question. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion on the art of management. Does practical knowledge, in other words, real life experience, score over an academic degree? We are here to talk about everything MBA, things that you always wanted to know but were hesitant to ask. Ritesh Agarwal of Oyo Rooms Frame, Kunal Shah, who founded FreeCharge, an online payment app, Kailash Katkar of Quick Heal, the cybersecurity software company, Azhar Iqbal, who has not used InShorts for their daily dose of News Digest in 60 words or less, and Ankit Oberoi, co-founder of Ad Pushup. None of them with academic pedigree, in other words, an MBA, and yet all very successful. On the other hand, we can smell and spot an MBA a mile away, especially if he or she is from some of the more prestigious institutes. The swagger in the walk, the confidence in the speech, the firmness of the handshake, you can spot him in a crowd. And small wonder then that they earn top dollars and are some of the most sought after species in the corporate world. But does the persona and the halo overpower the individual? Is an MBA truly worth it? Or does experience score over it? Join me as we pose our first question to Prateek Bhargav. Prateek, you have a double MBA. My first question to you is, does an MBA provide a fancy packaging to your intelligence, a stamp of approval like an ISI stamp? Does it boost your intelligence, provide a structure to your intelligence, or stifle your intelligence and spirit of free thinking?
Sure, happy to take that. If you look at it, both from an intellect point of view and from a commercial point of view, I think there are two broad angles to this kind of a question. If we look at the young graduates who are entering the workspace, India is one of those countries wherein there's this big fad of doing an MBA without any experience, right? Jumping into it. CAT is the route, and that's your gateway to the top colleges. Now, what really in reality is happening is you CAT and exams like that, they are basically screening the entire population, identifying the best talent in terms of aptitudes and capabilities, taking them to business schools where they are polished, and then they're out in the market with corporates vying for them, lining up with a lot of job offers, etc. So I think in a way what MBA in India has become, and I would categorize this MBA from the reputed tier 1 tier 2 colleges at least, therein what is happening, if it's a student gets in, they are just able to filter through this mechanism. They've become a channel for corporates to recruit, wherein they can trust that this source of recruitment is stable. They have certain level of intellect and certain level of capabilities which we can hone. So I think in a way, yes, that is where an MBA does help. Nothing special really happens in a business school such that you can suddenly become a leader overnight. I think what you learn is ability. And I think for me personally, my entire experience at MDI and ISB, it was all about networking. It is all about building skills which are non-academic in nature. I think academic was only 10 to 20% of what I personally learned from a business school. The rest was non-academic. And I think that is what came in really, really handy. But I think in a structured business school environment, in some of the top schools, the kind of environment, the kind of networking, the kind of learning that you have, problem solving capabilities, ability to work in a team, I think those are the skills which a business school really drives.
Nandita Ibrahim, as Chief Partnership Officer and someone who's been closely associated with academia, my next question, and I tagged unusual, I picked up from the title of a book by Abhijit Bhaduri. MBA stands for mediocre but arrogant. Would you agree, What are some of the common complaints or the biggest disillusionment about MBAs that you have heard, and where do they come from?
I think it's not correct to classify and to generalize. Okay, I do believe that education is not about learning some knowledge or some content, but going in to study an MBA is exactly about what Pratik said, because you are through the process of case studies, etc. You are trained to think critically. You're trained to work collaboratively because you learn to work, you do group projects, etc. Creativity is brought in, problem solving is brought in. These are all part of the design of an academic curriculum. So the process of going through your MBA actually equips you with the skills that are required to take you ahead in your career. Now, arrogance, yes, I think people with MBAs do have a sense of arrogance around them. That is in some ways what pushes them through also. If you look at MBAs across the world, some of the best schools, they bring out people who are very aggressive, very sure of themselves and ready to cut everybody else down. But we don't have to glorify that. I think that if you want somebody who is going to be able to solve problems, who's going to be able to create a long-term vision, who's going to be able to create a plan and execute to take you along the way, it's good to have someone who's been through the holistic experience. And any academic course, and in this case, because we're talking about management, would be a good way to achieve that.
Amit, my next question to you. When you interview a tenured person, say 10 or 15 years experience for a position, how much value would you place on the quality of experience rather than an MBA degree acquired, say, 15 years ago?
I think a right mix of both the worlds of education and experience is most desirable. However, I would like to put impetus on किस तरह का आपके पास experience है, the kind of experience one acquires, and not just the length of tenure somebody has spent on job. That is more critical. The kind of experience. Again, I say that कि आपने किस तरह काम किया है, because when we hire, anybody who is hiring for a particular role to be executed by the person in question. So what values most is how you have translated your opportunities into value adds for companies you have served and also for self-improvement. So therefore, this debate of experience over degree actually gets more skewed towards experience with more weightage on experience, because organizations today, in a very, very competitive world, need quick results and very, very positive changes within them. They all look forward to hire the talent who can bring in certain experience along with a skill set which can add value to their changing environment. Companies truly don't have time to invest bringing up to speed just a degree holder. So they don't have time to bring a degree holder to the speed for the relevant and required job skills. So theories of the world might help you put things in framework and analyze them, but I think it's experience alone which guides you to decisive actions. So experience teaches you about how to apply learnings to produce favorable outcomes, regardless of any concepts you might have learned. And I sum up this whole phenomena that yes, both the worlds are equally important. And as I cited the reasons for that, even I back up by saying that the great Albert Einstein has said, the only source of knowledge is experience.
Back to you, Pratik. When should you go for an MBA? This is a question that plagues most of us. Should it be immediately after your graduation when your learning agility is still high, or later when you're able to appreciate what's being taught?
MBA with a certain years of experience behind you makes all the sense in the world, right? And that's the reason almost every country's top business school would have an average class size of about, an experience of about 4 to 5 years, average age of about 29 to 30. In the Western countries, it's slightly even higher, particularly if you look at some of the best schools in Europe. And it makes sense that once you have got an idea about the ground reality, look to specialize in a particular domain. But what happens again in India is, imagine a situation of a really bright student getting out of college, just graduated. Now he's wanting to get into the job environment, and he knows that his salary component after just a graduation, vis-a-vis if he's able to amp it up with a 2-year MBA degree from, let's say, an IIM or any other top colleges, there's a huge gap between the two. So that is one of the most common reasons students want to pick that up. Second is, here we have an environment where there's a lot of parental pressure also involved.
What is the one thing on your wish list from either an MBA student or an institution that rolls out an MBA degree? In other words, what skills do you see as being more relevant in the real world, and how do we inculcate them in students?
The skill of learning to learn and the agility to be able to do it, I think that's something that is essential for anybody who is going to run a business or work in your organization, because you'll have to continuously do different things. So how can that be put into the curriculum? I think it has to be planned carefully and put into the curriculum by putting students in complex situations where they are forced to do different things, to learn different things, by having students go out and do internships. Now, internships doesn't just mean in a KPMG or something like that, but how about having students go out and do a social internship also with an NGO, an internship with a startup? So these could be in the forms of projects or internships, but really putting students into situations where things are not given to them, where they have to solve problems, work with each other, change the way that they look at life, and continuously learn. I think that would be the number one skill.
Amit, we're all experts in our respective fields. We all carry a lot of invaluable experience. What are some things that we all collectively can do to contribute to the building of a more comprehensive MBA curriculum? And how can the world of academics tap into our potential beyond internships and placements?
Can institutes be in line to the same speed of change what industry sees? Not really. So that is one fact which we all have to really understand and appreciate rather than cribbing about it. We all have experiences that what we learned during our colleges, possibly you did not get a chance to even see any of those academia getting into your real-time experience. Because by the time you are into jobs, the world around you has changed. So the way for it is, I think the whole education system has to gradually, slowly adapt this true fact of getting ready for the change. And hence, not at the level of MBA degrees, right from an age of say around 15, if not lesser. The education system should start encouraging students to look for their areas of interest. Overnight, over a period of a couple of years, things will not change. But this change has to be brought into our education system, wherein the student is able to really pick a topic of his interest, a skill area of his interest, and we all know, जहां आपका interest है, वहां आप अच्छा काम करते हैं.
I have a question. How many 15-year-olds are equipped to decide what their field of passion is? And again, in a country like India, where we all live in a family, how do we escape the parental pressure to do those courses that are socially acceptable, that have a high glamour quotient? How do we escape that? For example, if a 15-year-old said, I want to get into philanthropy, or I want to start an initiative to alleviate global poverty, lofty ideals that every 15-year-old has. How many parents in India would accept that as a genuine passion and allow the child to pursue it?
The percentage of parents aligning to this is very minuscule, but it has improved over years. I think my colleagues here would agree. The way India has always been influenced over Western countries, what they have done in the field of technology, but also in the field of lifestyles and cultures. 20 years before, let me know, Malati, if you ever remembered even to celebrate something called as a Father's Day or Mother's Day. तब क्या माँ बाप नहीं थे क्या? बिल्कुल थे. So what I'm saying is, the number is not very handsome right now, but the society has started adapting to its change. Today, a parent can enable their child to access those contents, those topics of study, which even they can't imagine of. Philanthropy, why not? I think even these kind of thoughts by kids can motivate parents to think differently. I strongly believe in that.
Mechanical engineering, followed by MBA with specialization in marketing, and then one goes on to take up a job in investment banking. So how do you reconcile all this? Is it just a chase for top dollars, or does one actually pause to reflect on how one's education is going to add value to the position?
So, firstly, Malti, I think that, like we said, the world is changing, but many people have gone into their first degrees not really knowing what it is that they want. Meaning, if you get a 96% or a 97%, then you must do engineering or be a doctor. And even if you're very interested in product design or in music, you can't really take that on. So a lot of people who've gone into their first degrees without really thinking what it is that they want to do, and then through the years they realize that this is not what they want to do. But everything makes you learn something. So probably engineering gives you a great way or teaches you how to think in a particular way. It teaches you systems, processes, etc. And then when the person finishes that and then says, okay, so what is it that I want to do? What is the next step that I want to take? And that's how these shifts really happen. Traditionally, we've always thought you have to do the same subject. So BA in economics, MA in economics, PhD in economics. But if you look at the world around you, people are changing also their careers. They're changing careers at the age of 40. They're going back to college. So I don't think we should necessarily look down on it. I think what's important is that at every stage, the student or the person who is going into study should have the opportunity to speak to others, research, learn, understand, and make their own decision. I think that is something that is really.
Amit, back to you. We spoke a lot about the curriculum and how difficult it is for institutions to change at the speed that the world is changing in. What are some of the things that institutions can do to still stay relevant so that the curriculum doesn't become archaic?
The curriculum which has to start changing from the schooling level. When I say 14, 15, it is a school level only. The so-called industry practices should start be exposed to kids from that early age, so that there's a cross-learning between the higher education institutes, the schools, and their exchange of knowledge, and they are gearing up to come up to speed to the relevant time to come for the context and the content. So these are the two things I can think of. The institutes must take it on.
So should we look at something like an exchange program? We do have professionals from the corporate world going as guest faculty to several of these institutes to take classes. Should we also look at formal internships for the faculty in industry so that they can come up to speed with what's really happening in the corporate world today? Besides, of course, consultancy assignments.
Yeah, that's what I said. Either you follow the track of internships or have a dedicated cell formed for a set of people who will be constantly upgraded on their sales kits for tomorrow. Otherwise, this whole thing cannot come to speed. Cannot.
my next question, and I'd like all three of you to take this. We spoke a lot about the value of real life experience. So, if not an MBA, how do we institutionalize the body of experience so that it can be packaged and passed on?
So one is that experience is really important, and if you're looking at packaging it, then possibly having different kinds of experience, and also adding to that, because today there's a lot of online learning that is possible. There are even online projects that you can do. So I guess to make sure that your experience is also put together with the learning that you need to have. That could be one way of looking at it. Multidisciplinarity is something, again, that is very important, which you may get in some universities. Possibly then, if you're looking at having different kinds of experiences, so that you show that you're able to work with people in technology, and I had mentioned once before, like maybe the social sector or entrepreneurship. So to show to your employer, and also to be able to actually work in different environments. I think that's something that I would recommend.
Thank you. Prateek?
So three routes. I think if you're looking at gaining relevant experience of at least being adept to do the job, I think internships and freelancing is the way to start for any youngster, and it is not difficult. Okay, I see my inbox flooded with students writing, and the more people write, and I'm more inclined to actually they've taken the initiative writing in, and they've at least crossed the barrier or broken the ice. So I think internship. There are multiple freelance portals like Fiverr, etc., where you can just put in your profile and you can get going. So if you have the raw skill, I think there is immense opportunities that are out there for you to gain relevant experience. So that is internship freelancing. Second, when it comes to education, I think you don't need a structured 20 lakh MBA program. If you want to optimize it, there are multiple nice certification programs available: Coursera, Udemy, Upgrad. These are paid portals. Then there are free portals like Khan Academy. There are tons and tons of this. YouTube, a free resource. So I don't think so. Learning. There is any shortage of resources there. So that's the second element. Third, the biggest component of MBA, which would be networking. I think social media in a certain way does allow you to amp that up. Now, whether you look at becoming an influencer on Instagram or networking with people on LinkedIn, there are new opportunities today, like of talking and interacting with people on Clubhouse, which is very popular, or Indian versions of those apps. So I think those are there. There are youngsters who are extremely active. Like I recently we recruited somebody who had almost 60,000 LinkedIn followers for a content writing role. Right now, imagine, I don't know, and this is just a entry level, just a youngster, but I don't know what he would have done in his 2-year, 3-year journey to attract 60,000 followers on his LinkedIn page. So stuff like that. So this is a pseudo way of networking. So I think social media is the answer to that.
Thank you, Prateek. Amit, what is your take on this?
I think internship definitely is the way forward. However, I would like to use the word called partnerships. Today, what you are learning on such kind of app environments or social media environment is all about partnerships. There is a mutual give and take, and that's what is partnership all about. So the new word to be up and running for this entire changing world, I think I would like to say, is that partnership. So that's how I see it. So, and for that, again, I'm saying, which I said earlier also, make the most of available opportunities. Nothing teaches better than what did you perform at the given opportunity. For that, you are an MBA, most welcome. You are not an MBA, most welcome. That's what I would like to end like this.
One word of advice from each of you to the people who run the institutions and to the people who aspire to enter these institutions in the hope that it will be the gateway to instant fame and fortune. Nandita, you want to have a go first?
The first word, if that can be word, is believe in yourself. And the second is respect others. And for the institutes, I think student-centeredness is what is important.
Prateek?
Okay, so for the institutes, I'll use the word innovate. And for students, I would say just network.
Amit, your take.
वक्त है बदलाव का, बदलाव के साथ बदलना ही वक्त के साथ चलने की पहचान है। ये सबको करने की जरूरत है, चाहे वो इंस्टीट्यूट हैं, चाहे वो स्टूडेंट्स।
Prateek, Nandita, and Amit, thank you so much for a very interesting conversation and exchange of thoughts and ideas. At the end of the day, doing an MBA, the value one derives from doing it and the value one places on it are very individualistic. But our conversation has hopefully helped our viewers in getting a better, more rounded perspective of various dimensions to it and equip them to make more informed choices and decisions. Be bold. Don't be afraid to pursue an unconventional path. Follow your heart. That's the secret to success.
Thank you for such great insights. I'm sure this will be of great help to our students who are pursuing management as a career. We now move towards the most important and awaited part of this digital event, the felicitation ceremony. Our multimedia series on role of educators will lead us into the virtual felicitation ceremony where we felicitate the educator icons from different fields. Category 1. Changemakers in Technology Education. Best Private Engineering University, North.
I would like to congratulate all and thank the management and dedicated team of GTV, Zee Digital and Zee Media for organizing this mega award event recognizing the excellence in higher education.
Best Private Engineering University, South.
We at RV College of Engineering are very much thankful to Zee Digital for conducting Zee Edufuture survey to declare excellence awards during pandemic. It needs a lot of will and courage to take up such a mammoth task during the pandemic. RVC being one of the sought after engineering colleges in the state of Karnataka, we are all happy and proud to receive the Best Private Engineering University South Award.
Best Private Engineering University, East.
It is our great pleasure to be associated with Zee Digital Edufuture Excellence Awards 2021, and we are proud to receive the award as Best Private Engineering Institute in Eastern region of India.
Outstanding Engineering Institute, West.
I thank Zee Edufuture Excellence Award team and jury panel for recognizing the credential of Phenolics Academy and conferring this award to FAMT. The award will certainly boost the morale of entire team FAMT and motivate them to do better in future.
Best Private Engineering University, Central. Best Polytechnic College.
I am highly overwhelmed to know that Zee Digital has selected our institute as Best Polytechnic College for Edufuture Excellence Awards. This award will certainly motivate me, my fellow faculty members, my staff and my students to work harder to achieve bigger targets.
Outstanding Engineering Institute for promoting industry academia interface.
I express my happiness on behalf of all the students, faculty and staff of LD College of Engineering for being awarded the Best Engineering Institution for promoting industry academia interface. The Edufuture Excellence Award, which is an initiative of Zee Digital and sent to us by AICTE, has given us a platform to showcase the industry-oriented ecosystem on our campus.
Most Emerging Tech School.
I would like to thank Zee Digital for giving our university this award. We are deeply honored by this recognition.
Outstanding Engineering Institute with Best Infrastructure. Outstanding Engineering Institute with Best Placements.
At the outset, it gives us immense pleasure that we are receiving Outstanding Engineering Institute with Best Placement Award from Zee Media. We thank Zee Media for having chosen our institute for its Outstanding Engineering Institute with the Best Placements Awards.
Outstanding Innovation by Engineering Institute.
We are delighted to hear that MBITS Engineering College, Kodamangalam, has been awarded Edufuture Excellence Award by Zee Media.
E-Campus Award.
Heartfelt thanks to Zee Digital for honoring us by providing E-Campus Award for the year 2021.
Outstanding Institute for providing global exposure. Outstanding Institute in Entrepreneurship Development.
Thank you, Zee Edufuture, for the award and for recognizing GNITS as the best engineering institute in entrepreneur development.
Outstanding Engineering Institute for Research and Innovation.
It's a matter of great pride that our Pharmacy Institute has won Outstanding Institute for Research and Innovation Award initiated by Zee Digital at national level. Such an appreciation at national level will definitely motivate the faculty members and students to boost their performance as per global requirement.
Second category, Leaders of Management. Outstanding Business School, North.
I feel extremely delighted that Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur, has been adjudged as winner under Outstanding Business School North for the prestigious Edufuture Excellence Award by Zee Digital.
Outstanding Business School, East.
I'm happy to receive Zee Edufuture Excellence Award on behalf of International Management Institute, Bhubaneswar. We are being awarded Outstanding Business School in the Eastern region. So we thank the Zee Digital Media and the complete team of Zee Edufuture for recognizing our effort in imparting management education.
Outstanding Business School, West.
It's an honor to be honored by the prestigious Zee Edufuture Excellence Awards, an initiative by Zee Digital, and the Vision family is extremely proud to receive the Outstanding Business School Award, West Zone.
Outstanding Business School, Central.
I'm humble, honored, and at the same time excited to receive this award of Outstanding Business School in Central India for Delhi College Business School. To begin with, I express my gratitude to Zee Digital and the honorable jury members for reinforcing our commitment to offer quality education and strive towards excellence.
Most Emerging Business School. Outstanding Business School with Best Placements. The most promising infrastructure amongst business schools.
We are proud to accept the Edufuture Excellence Awards, an initiative by Zee Digital under the category The Most Promising Infrastructure Amongst Business Schools.
Outstanding Leadership amongst Business Schools.
We would like to take opportunity to thank Zee family and all our well-wishers today to recognize us for most prestigious award on outstanding leadership from Zee Entertainment.
Outstanding Faculty amongst Business Schools.
Let me thank Zee Digital of Edufuture Excellence Awards for selecting me as outstanding faculty among the business schools. My ecstasy knew no bounds when I came to know that I have been selected for this most coveted award of Zee Digital of Zee Group.
Excellence in Industrial Interface.
Zee Digital has gone for an award this year under the name Zee Edufuture Excellence Award. I'm so happy, privileged and so motivated that this year Lead College of Management has won the Excellence in Industrial Interface Award.
The most emerging HR Management College. The most emerging Finance Management College.
I am thankful to Zee Digital team and to the entire team of jury organizing Edufuture Excellence Award 2021.
The most emerging Marketing Management College.
I am very grateful to Zee Digital Edufuture Excellence Awards 2021 for considering and recognizing IIBM Indus Business School Pune as the most emerging marketing management college. We would like to take this opportunity to thank Zee Digital for giving educational institutions a platform to showcase contemporary and transformational initiatives taken by them.
Outstanding specialization opportunities in management.
I am extremely happy to share that we are selected as a winner by the jury members of Zee Digital under Outstanding Specialization Opportunities in Management category.
Emerging Public Relations Management College. Excellence in Distance Learning Education. Third category, the Craft Makers, Media and Design. The most emerging Best Journalism and Mass Communication Institute.
Would like to take this opportunity to thank Zee Media for recognizing our efforts and bestowing us with such a prestigious award.
The most emerging Liberal Arts Institute. The most emerging Dance Institute.
I'm deeply pleased and honored to receive this prestigious award. Thank Zee Digital for giving us the Edufuture Excellence Award for Most Emerging Dance and Fitness Academy.
The most emerging Theatre Institute.
I want to thank Zee Digital for giving us the Edufuture Excellence Award for the Most Emerging Theatre Institute. Zee Media has really raised the bar in the field of education by creating these awards.
The most emerging Music Institute.
We would like to thank Edufuture Excellence Awards, an initiative by Zee Media, for choosing Furtado School of Music as an outstanding music school.
Thank you very much to the jury and all the Zee Digital members for choosing us as the Outstanding Business School South.
Editor's Choice Award for Outstanding Institute in Journalism and Mass Communication.
I am honored that Zee Media has recognized our contribution and awarding us with Editor Choice Award to the Journalism and Mass Communication Department. Certainly it is going to boost our morale, and it comes as a responsibility to all of us to serve much better what we have been doing. And I assure that we will not be leaving any stone unturned.
Editor's Choice Award for Academic Excellence.
I would like to express my gratitude towards Zee Digital for giving us this recognition. I would like to first up dedicate this recognition to all the academic leadership of our group of universities, all the professors, faculty members who have worked tirelessly.
Fourth category, the Unconventional Innovators. The most emerging Architecture School.
I am happy to inform that School of Architecture and Interior Design, SRMIST, is awarded Zee Edufuture Excellence Award 2021 in the category of the most emerging architecture institution across the country by nomination from Zee Digital.
The most emerging Hotel Management Institute. The most emerging Interior Designing Institute.
I'm honored to receive the Edufuture Excellence Award for Most Emerging Architecture School from Zee Edufuture.
The most emerging Agriculture Institute.
We are very much thankful to Zee Media and India.com for awarding us
the most emerging agriculture institute in India.
The most emerging sports institute.
Hi, I'm glad to see this wonderful initiative taken up by Zee Digital in the form of the Edufuture Excellence Award. The entire team at Nest Academy is honored to receive this award as the most emerging sports institute. This certainly has encouraged the entire team and has motivated us to keep doing better.
Editor's Choice Award for Excellence in Education through Immersive Learning.
I am happy and honored to receive the Zee Edufuture Excellence Award on behalf of Mahesh Tutorials. We are grateful for the recognition of our work. For over 30 years, Mahesh Tutorials has made learning easy through continuous innovations in the way we teach through technology.
Editor's Choice Award for Educationist of the Year. We thank our presenting sponsor LIC, co-powered by Binomo and Intel. Special partner Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham and survey partner EduStart. With this, we come to an end of our virtual event. A big congratulations to all the winners and a warm-hearted thank you to jury members, speakers and viewers for connecting to make this launch a mega event. Also, a special mention to our counselors and educators for organizing virtual workshops for students. Please visit Zeenews.com and India.com to view the same. Zee Digital team has relentlessly worked for days together to make this virtual event a massive success. A big shout out to all those who contributed in making this possible amid pandemic scare. The marketing and tech team, content team, social media geniuses, and everybody who added vital inputs to ensure Edufuture Excellence Awards turns up the way we imagined. Thank you.